Okay, a very good morning and welcome to the live transmission. Only Friday, the 16th. A very good morning and welcome once again. Ó kù díẹ̀ a máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò ti àárọ̀ yìí. And welcome once again. Àti gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń gbọ́ wa tó ń wò wá káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé live láti number 10 Downing Street ni a ti fẹ́ mú program tààrọ̀ yìí wá fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá. Láti fẹ́ kí yín àfitẹ́lẹ́dùmarè kí yín. Ó ti di dandan pé kí ìran Yorùbá kó bọ́ lóko ẹrú ọ̀dẹ̀ máa bọ́ lóko ẹrú gbára Elédùmarè tí kò sẹ́ni tó máa dá dúró. Mo kí ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé. Mo kí lẹ́ẹ̀kan ṣe ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá àti yín káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé. Arákùnrin tó ń gbé backpack káàkiri náà ni mo dúpẹ́ fún Elédùmarè. Number 10 Downing Street láti fẹ́ ṣe fàájì láàárọ̀ ẹ̀. Mo kíyà tó bí mi lọ́mọ. Èmi àti backpack mi náà lájọ ń káàkiri. Àwa lálejò. Ká tún béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn UK. Mo kí gbogbo ilé nǹkan ṣe. I say very good morning. Mo kí ní India. Live all the way from number 10 Downing Street. Aago mẹ́wàá ló ṣẹ́yìn. We're live at number 10 Downing Street. And I say good morning and welcome to the live transmission where we are going to be reporting this morning. So let's move ourselves a little bit closer. Behind me is that magnificent door, Mokie Jakolushola. So this morning we are reporting behind me the most magnificent door in UK, number 10 Downing Street. My name is Olawumi Koiki, and as so many of you that have been following the Koiki Media platform, for those of us that are asking for one alone, and that is our right to self-determination. First and foremost, we appreciate Eledumare, the King of the King, for making it possible under the leadership of Professor Adebanji Akitoye láti sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé ẹ̀tọ́ tí wọ́n ti fi jẹ wá níyà for a very long time, we should ask for it. And that is exactly what we are doing. À ń béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ yẹn, kò níjà nínú, ìbéèrè ni, negotiation ni, diplomacy ni. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé happy Good Friday, and we are live. As you can see behind me is number 10 Downing Street. Ẹ má bínú, this tripod is a little bit small, so you can see, for those of you here, I'm managing to get a better one. I didn't know that the length of this is not as, expected. good relationship with Nigeria. But what about those of us that are now agitating? How do we bring diplomacy? How do we bring the message closer to the British government and tell them about Yoruba nation for those indigenous people that are agitating for the right to self-determination? Right, as we know, is not a crime under the whatever law that you can talk about. But so many people have asked us that show possible. You know, this is a door that will continue to open back to back because so many people are going into number 10. I'm not sure if our Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, is in the house. Also at 11 o'clock, I'll be joining the Star Radio UK for the morning program right from the 10 Downing Street as well. 5 minutes past exactly the hour, a lot of people have asked continuously, are we likely to get Yoruba nation? Àti pé tá bá máa gba Yoruba nation, how? Ọ̀nà wo la fẹ́ fi gbà? Kí la fẹ́ ṣe tá fẹ́ fi gbà? Part of that is to continue the awareness program that we are doing online, offline, but most importantly, to also continue a diplomacy with the countries, whether it's countries under the United Nations, which we have about 193. I'm going to read again this letter of Professor Adebanji Akitoye, the oracle himself, that has told every one of us the reason why the Yorubas should now think of an exit out of what is called Nigeria, which will be of benefit to us, because the more we stay in Nigeria, the more Nigeria is taking us backwards. Bear with us so that we can get all the platforms in quickly. Very, very good morning. The weather is so beautiful out here at number 10 Downing Street, where we are reporting from this morning. And we would like to appreciate all the media team that are also day and night to make sure that we can come on air on a daily basis, continue to support the Koiki media so that we can do more and we can also, you know, talk to as many people in the world. Because if you want freedom and you say you don't want negotiation, then you must be preparing for the anarchy stage. And since we are not asking for the anarchy, we will then ask for the right. Once again, first and foremost, today is the Friday, the 16th day of the month. It's a very beautiful week in UK. It's also the tech week. That literally means that there's a lot of activities in UK. Lot of activities is happening in UK. The UK government is also investing a huge amount of money into the economy of the UK government. As you can see behind me, there's a lot of students visiting number 10 Downing Street for different reasons, you know, for what we call a visit to the Prime Minister. But Kini di Gonti Baba Akitoye, the oracle himself, Kini di ti Baba fi sọ pé it is better we have our own autonomous political space compared to Nigeria. Nigeria has failed every single one of us, and it continues to do so because the country called Nigeria has 250 different ethnic groups that was put together in 1914 after the amalgamation. But Nigerians are asking one thing: let us live together peacefully. Let us continue to see if we can make Nigeria great. This is where we disagree. This is where the indigenous people are saying we cannot continue to live in Nigeria, because the Nigeria that you know in the 60s, during the regional government of the negotiation, the negotiation that we got from the British government when they were having, that negotiation in preparing Nigeria for independence in 1960. But we've told you so many times that what we are now witnessing today is not the same thing that we have in 1960. So when people are saying that it is not possible, Yoruba nation cannot come now, we should just go and allow the current president. No, nobody's disturbing the current president. The current president is doing what he's doing on behalf of Nigerians, while leader of the Yoruba nation under the leadership of Professor Akitoye is also doing what it takes to get us out of Nigeria. The Scottish are asking for the same right that we are doing. So there's nothing wrong if the Yoruba people that are agitating say, we don't want to be part of Nigeria. We have been part of Nigeria for 63 years. But that has been a failure. It has literally failed every one of us. Then why should we continue in that space? So let me go back again and read the letter by Professor Akitoye to Bola Tinubu. Like I said, the busy building in and out, people are coming out, just like your own Aso Rock. So, Aso Rock, every day guests are coming in, guests are going out. It's almost the same thing. So this is our own government house. So, government house, official government house. This is the government house called number 10 Downing Street, which is not too far away from Trafalgar Square. I've walked about 500 meters or so coming down here. A lot of security. You cannot just come in here, okay? Not just a mark of what they number 10. No. Nobody can just come in. You have to go through, a process. And that process means for those of us that are journalists, it is easy for, but for those that are just, schools, what a bouquet, go to Wasibiba. So let me read Baba Akitoye's letter again as a refresher so that we can then ask the argument. Baba Akitoye mentioned exactly why and how we want to leave Nigeria. Some are saying, Shefe dogun sile ni eyan omo kekeke e ma dogun sile ogun te fe da sile yi sapa yin le ka no kò sẹ́ni kankan tó ń dá ogun kankan sílẹ̀. In tá ń béèrè fún kò nídìí láti di ogun. All we are asking for is let us do the needful. And the needful means that the government of the UK, we have done a lot of protests from outside. Behind me is the Commonwealth building. We have done a lot of protests from that Commonwealth building. But what we are now saying is, can we have the new government of Bola Tinubu to make sure it can sit with us and then discuss, set up a committee, and then we can prepare an exit plan from Nigeria. And ibi táwọn ọmọ Yorùbá sọ pé no, ilé yóò lè ṣeé ṣe, kò possible, báwo lẹ ṣe fẹ́ kúrò ní Nigeria, ó ti kó gbogbo àpapọ̀ for so many years. Okay, we understand all that. Nobody is arguing about Nigeria tiwa ti pẹ́ for 63 years. Yeah, we understand that. But what we are saying now is the same thing that the Scottish people asked for in 2014 that gave them the referendum. As we continue to ask for our right to self-determination. Now, the argument is, oh, let's stay in Nigeria, let's keep Nigeria, let's continue to be in Nigeria. No. First and foremost, Yoruba people or the indigenous people, the ethnic group, have been around before Nigeria. So the word Nigeria, everything about Nigeria started about just did I say 500? No, I take that back. Gbogbo in Nigeria Leni is less than 108 years old. Some of you, your grandmother, about 113, 110, 114. Ǹjẹ́ ń bi wọ́n pé, how come tí kò sí Nigeria prior before the 1914? And if people are now saying that, we should keep that word because of the selfish interest of some certain people, the question then is, should we remain for the interest of few, whether those outside? Mokiedada, my beautiful Auntie Kentos, and I appreciate you for the love and the support and the words of encouragement. This morning, I am in that building, but behind that door, we need to negotiate our way out. Those negotiations might not be as easy as you are expecting, but it would also mean that the government of Nigeria at some point would have to negotiate with us, whether they like it or not. There's nothing about Tinubu is going to fix Nigeria. No. Tinubu is going to do the same thing that Buhari has done. The only difference is it might just twist things around, but Nigeria is already a Titanic that is already, sinking. So those who want to rescue Nigeria, you are trying to rescue something that is sinking. How do you pull it out? We have over 200 million Nigerians, and today, those Nigerians do not even understand why they are suffering. A lot of them don't understand. A lot of Nigerians do not understand. They're bashing Bomi Luri because I didn't realize that. Let me take off my AirPod because I want to save that for Star Radio UK. At exactly 11 o'clock, I'll be switching to the Star Radio UK network. But for now, we are live on the Koiki Media Network, where we are discussing the continuation, the argument, the consultation, the diplomacy, the reason why we should be told to remain in a country called Nigeria when there's British, there's German, there's French, there's Australian, there's Swedish, there are Norways. So why come we don't want to have Yorubaness? Omo Yorubaniwa, we are not Nigerian. So let me read quickly Baba Akitoye letter, this morning. On this historical occasion of the inauguration of our beloved brother, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, I, Professor Banji Akitoye, the Chairman of the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, for and on behalf of the overwhelming majority of the Yoruba people, home and in diaspora, worldwide, who seek self-determination and the sovereignty for the Yoruba nation, deeply and sincerely rejoice with our brother on the fulfillment of his political ambition to preside over the affairs of the Nigerian state. Exactly 8 years ago, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, energetic, sincere, and dedicated assistant to another Nigerian citizen, enabled that citizen to rise to this same position of the President and Commander-in-Chief of Nigeria. Therefore, none of us, citizens of Nigeria, can now say that he does not deserve the same elevation for himself today. Indeed, his elevation of the presidency of Nigeria against all the odds that we Nigerians are painfully familiar with, and against all the man-made contortion of the order that characterize Nigeria, demonstrate clearly the tenacity of the spirit that characterized his political career. These man-made contortions of order demonstrate the fundamental bankruptcy and the essential non-sustainability of the Nigerian state, which our brother must now lead. It is particularly noteworthy that all the electoral cycle under the successfully fraudulent constitution of Nigeria since 1959 have ended up unutterably in a controversy that are irresolvable and that are ultimately never resolved. That same scenario remains with us as we speak today. Nigeria stands at this moment in a devastating pain of an unresolved nationality as a highly perspective leader of another African country, remarked recently, the nation of Nigeria hate one another, and the hatred has steadily escalated since independence, and yet the political leaders of Nigeria strangely chooses to keep Nigeria as one country. Today, Nigeria stands at a grave moment when the nationality problem and the hatred have been fearfully aggravated by the decision and the effort of one Nigerian nation, the Fulani nation, to conquer and break and subjugate all the other nations of Nigeria, will stand at a great moment when they will conquer nation. Is still killing, maiming, destroying, still seeking to make Nigeria the bloodiest war zone on the African continent. We have experienced fully 8 years during which the conqueror nation has enjoyed a total freedom out of its invasion, killing and destroying across the face of Nigeria, while enrolling the services of the foreign terrorist organization in the invasion, all with very obvious complicity by the government and the security forces of Nigeria. With very loudly announced invitation by the former President Muhammadu Buhari of Nigeria to non-Nigerians to come and migrating from all over Africa to Nigeria without any travel document. Huge masses of hostility, non-Nigerians, all ethnic cleansing of the would-be conqueror nation have been assisted to flood into Nigeria in order to reinforce their nation conquest. We, the Yoruba, have lost estimately 29,000 of our people to these rampages. Countless Yoruba women have suffered the degradation of being raped by the invaders. Famine has been destroyed to a large swath of the Yoruba land, and our whole Yoruba nation now faces the danger of devastating famine. In fact, the would-be conqueror nation once embarked on a loudly proclaimed effort to starve out the whole Yoruba nation by blocking Lokoja Bridge for days against trucks that were transporting food products to Yoruba Southwest from Nigeria Middle Belt, and again without the government of Nigeria raising a finger against the crime. But these are not all that the Yoruba people have suffered in Nigeria. Ever intensified cauldron of inter-people's hatred under a system of limited self-government, federalism in a decade preceding Nigerian independence. In 1960, we Yoruba people achieved such a great development and modernization that our region, the pace setter in the modernization, not only in Nigeria, but in the whole of Africa. We instituted the first free education program in Africa. We built the longest mileage of the modern highway, the most urban water supply project, the first industrial estate with an ambitious industrialization program, the only investment capital structure with holdings in industry, banking, real estate, and commerce, many large plantations producing crop for industry, various skills development centers for our youth. But Nigeria culture of inter-people's hatred has almost totally destroyed all of these. Though Yoruba people were confidently living in growing prosperity by 1960, most Yoruba people now belong in Nigeria, horribly culture of poverty, which is growing worse and worse. Yoruba educated youth confronted by Nigerian hopelessness are fleeing abroad at a terrifying rate, thereby creating a serious threat that their Yoruba nation will perish. Once again, against these backgrounds, we, the Yoruba people, remain. How you doing? What time do you finish?
12-hour shift.
Oh, you just started then?
Yeah.
It's a Friday. Thank you. Against this background, We Yoruba people remain fiercely convinced of the reality of the non-sustainability of the Nigerian state as a vehicle for galvanizing, translating the inherent creative energies of our people, the Yoruba people, into developmental trust again. We are determined that the bottled-up Yoruba creativity must be released so as to generate the impetus to reenact the historical dynamism for which our Yoruba nation was famed in the past. The more the Yoruba nation remains stuck into and trapped in the vortex of the Nigerian trash machine, the more stagnated and backward we Yoruba people would become. Accordingly, we Yoruba people state categorically that the political realities of one Yoruba man as a president over Nigeria cannot possibly alter the continued bondage, retrogression of the Yoruba people in the cauldron of the heavily devalued Nigerian state. The Yoruba nation will never submit itself to the unending citizenship in Nigeria that is irretrievably held in a deep dungeon of more and more poverty and hopelessness. Therefore, we Yoruba nation reaffirmed our decision to negotiate with anyone around the world. We Yoruba nation reaffirmed our decision to negotiate with Nigeria the creation of our own and separate autonomous political and economic space outside the framework of what is called the now illegitimate Nigerian state. We Yoruba have repeatedly stated this in our letters and petition to the United Nations Organization, to the United Kingdom, and the rest of the world, as to various governments of the world, including the British government, where I am reporting from. Behind me is number 10 Downing Street. We Yoruba concluded irrevocably that the agenda of the war of conquest and subjugation by one nation that is part of Nigeria against the other nations of Nigeria, and the said nation's invitation to foreign terrorist organizations to come and help to wage war against the other nations of Nigeria, all with the obvious complicity of the federal government of Nigeria, have idiotically violated, conclusively eliminated the unity and the legitimacy of Nigeria as one country. We Yoruba have therefore concluded that we have the legitimate right and duty to separate our Yoruba nation from Nigeria. We Yoruba are prepared to attain these goals through negotiation with the Nigerian government, either on a bilateral basis that brings all most of the constituent stakeholders in the failed Nigerian project around one negotiation table. We have stated these in various ways to the federal government of Nigeria, and this communication of ours to the Nigerian federal government remain our firm, unutterable demands of the Nigerian state. There is no negotiation about what we want. Crime. No, there's no crime, okay? The British government knows that what I am doing is not a crime. It is called the right to self-determination. The British government knows the same thing that I am asking for is what other countries around the world have achieved, and they've got that as well. So do not tell us that what we are doing today is a crime against humanity. It is actually better for us to negotiate. If not, there will be gbas, there will be anarchy, there will be death of so many innocent lives as it's currently happening in Sudan. We saw what happened in Sudan. We saw how the British have to quickly send in experts and evacuate as many British back to UK through Cyprus. We saw the same thing across the world. Even Nigerians left, abandoned their studies in Sudan, and they returned back to Nigeria. So whatever we are doing today is called the right to self-determination. And that right will be respected by everybody around the world so that we can have a peaceful negotiation, just as Professor Oraku Adebanji Akitoye and Chief Banji Ayiloge and the rest of the teams that are working for how the Yoruba people will gain that recognition. Especially, I pray one day they will be inviting Baba Akitoye as quickly as possible, because inviting him to speak now will save as many things, because if things goes the other way around, it might be too late. There will be human catastrophe, and we don't want such. One thing is, Tebaniko Nisi peace, Bas Gosma Shele, Gumikba Waniwaji number 10 Downing Street. It is a fact. We said it so many times. Tebati Jade, Tabatinika Jade ni Atiko. And let me say this clearly before I finish this letter. I have the last part. In conclusion of this statement, we, the Yoruba, applaud the noble assurance which our brother, the new president of Nigeria, uttered in his inaugural address. We refer to the following statement in his address: our administration shall govern on your behalf, but never rule over you. We shall consult and dialogue, but never dictate. We shall reach out to all, but never put down a single person for holding views contrary to our own. We, his kinsmen, say thank you, Mr. President, for this typically Yoruba assurance. Professor Adebanji Akintoye, the leader and the chairman, Yoruba Self-Determination Movement called YSD. Thank you so much to those of you that have joined, and I hope you've been able to listen again to that statement that we sent to the federal government under the President 16th Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, let me come back to the breakdown. I'm going to be speaking in English and Yoruba because there is a target audience for this broadcast as well. And you're going to be seeing more of these, because this is going to be one of our own lecture room where we will continue to tell the British government and the rest of the medias around the world that do not ignore, especially the genocide that the former President Muhammadu Buhari committed. As I speak to you right now, information says Buhari is now on his way to Daura. I don't know whether he has left already, but that is the information. But I know Bola Tinubu would not go the route of Buhari, because we saw how Buhari was dealing with the Biafra, because he hated the Igbo so much that he even reminded them of the cycle, the dots, that led Twitter to remove the tweet. And do you know what happened? Buhari eventually shut down Twitter for 6 months. So when people are now asking, Koiki, you know, how do you want to get this your Yoruba nation? It's going to happen, because one day, I don't know whether Rishi Sunak will be there. He's still there as we speak right now. He's the Prime Minister. He's the Tech Week. He's been working around the clock. I saw him yesterday, attending to immigration removal. Why do you think that the UK is trying to control the immigration? Because there are so many people that are coming here and exploiting. Some of them are not paying tax. Some of them are not even in the system. And that is why yesterday, if you look up to the news, the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, was outside in his own body kit with the immigration enforcement officers, checking who is illegal and who needs to be removed. But in the country called Nigeria, how do we remove those people that are not meant to be in Nigeria? We know that we have so many, and I say so many, without mentioning numbers, so many people that are currently living in Nigeria and they are not meant to be. They have been living in Nigeria. Some of them have been living for only God knows, maybe 10 years, 20 years. Some of them have settled down that have become a crime in the known area, like Wakilu, like the incident that happened in Igogon, that led to what we call Chief Dr. Sunday Igboho going to tell, what is his name again? This criminal that thought that because he lives in the Yoruba territory, committing crime against humanity. Remind me his name. Eniti Babawa Chief Sunday Igboho lọ bá ní Igogon. And eventually, there's going to be a lot of noise today. I said there's going to be a lot of noise. Oh, I'm looking forward to the noise. I love the drums. Can I touch it? Let me just touch it a little bit. African drum. Bam, 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 bam. Yoruba nation.
So you should be taking the pictures. You should be in with us.
Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Lovely day.
You too. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye. Well, that shows, how things work. Seriki Gogon, thank you so much. Salute. So, ìdí tí UK ṣe ń control immigration wọn is because they don't want terrorists here. They want people that can come here, study, live here if you can, do business. They want people to come and set up good businesses. They don't want people that will end up killing us. And this is why we are giving kudos to one man. Without him, you will not get Yoruba nation. Tó o bá sí olóyè Dr. Sunday Igboho, there will be no Yoruba nation because he woke the mind and the spirit of everybody. Igboho wá ṣe gbogbo wàhálà yẹn délẹ̀. Ẹ ṣe gan ni gbogbo yẹn tẹ́ ẹ rán mi létí Seriki Saliu. Ó ní tóun bá rí Igboho, òun á máa sá. Igboho wá ṣe gbogbo wàhálà yìí. Ó ṣe wàhálà yẹn tán. Èèyàn kan wá dé láàrin méjì. Ó wá pèrè ní Dúpẹ́ Onírọ́ the virus. Ẹ má bínú pé a tún mórúkọ ẹ̀ wá sínú broadcast láàárọ̀ yìí. It's because if you continue to listen to what they are saying, and we are saying to you, kò síbi kankan that the international community can confirm today pé Yoruba nation is already a country. Kò síbi kankan. So don't be fooled by hearing the word àti gbà, Ọlọ́run ti bá wa gbà, àti gba Yoruba nation, àti wà nínú country wa. All those nonsense by Ìjìnlẹ̀, Wálé Àlí, Ṣóyẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀, Green for God, Bàbá Ọgbọ́n, ta ló tún wà nínú wọn pẹ̀lú ẹran mi létí, ta ló tún wà láàrin wọn, àti Black Goat. Gbogbo ń tán sọ lórí social media, inú platform wọn nìkan ló ti ń gbọ́. Kò sí ibi kankan tó ṣò nínú àgbáyé kankan pé a ti gba Yoruba nation. But in tá à ń ṣe nísìnyí pé we are creating what they call a global awareness. And you'll be seeing more of that. The Jezebel of our era, Dúpẹ́ Onídọ̀tí, tí UK bá gba data yín, wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ sọ tó fi data yẹn ṣe. She collected 5 million of your petition. Àwọn kan ní rówó gbà, ìyẹn ló ṣe ń dùn yìí. You must be stupid to be talking in that direction. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ because mò ń gbọ́ gbogbo tẹ́ ń sọ. Ẹni pé ó ti dínà jẹ wa. Ṣé Dúpẹ́ ló ń sponsor wa tẹ́lẹ̀ ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá nation? Ṣé Yorùbá nation yẹn náà la fi ń jẹun? It shows. Ìjìnlẹ̀ yẹn má wọrí, mo sọ fún yín pé eléyìí tèmi ṣe níbí báyìí Ìjìnlẹ̀ ò lè ṣe pẹ̀lú Turkey government because kò ní security clearance. Òfin pé èèyàn kàn máa wọnú bíbá láti. No, you will go through security clearance. Ẹni kó lọ register rẹ̀ kó kọ́kọ́ bá yín lọ sọ fún Turkish government kó lọ polówó Yorùbá nation. Ṣèbí wájú bẹ́ẹ̀ lèmi wà ní sí mò ń polówó Yorùbá nation. Èmi tí mò ń ṣe níbí ni pé I am also using my platform called the Koiki Media brand to bring the conscious awareness because bí ṣe wà níbí báyìí kí n tó wọlé mo ti clear security. You can't just come in and say òfin wọnú bíbáyìí. No. Ìyàn kan wọnú bíbáyìí. You will clear security. Security ló máa wá sọ fún ẹ pé yes o lè wọlé. Tí security tí ó bá lọ vet káàdì mi torí pé kí ló rò pé òun ṣe ìkẹ́ ìbò ló rò pé wà ó sí Africa na bọ̀bọ̀ yìí. And this is why we are telling you that gbogbo nǹkan ló ní process. Let's understand this thing. What they are doing is awareness, but they are changing the conversation to Àtìgbà country. Kò tí síbí kankan to indicate Àtìgbà country. Mo wá lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo tún dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo èèyàn ọmọ Yorùbá. Ẹ̀yin fọkànbalẹ̀ mo sọ fún yín pé ẹni mídíà tó dáńtọ́ Any media tó máa bá yín lọ béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn media míì láti béèrè pé yes, you think I just got in here? No. You go through proper security clearance. Oh, Kole, want to be back? I need to cover my number. This is my clearance. So let me show you guys. So we are Orope Moko Jawo Bibai. No, Mo Jawo Bibai, okay? So yon kan Jawo no Bibai. Only process. That process tó bá ti follow ẹ̀ wọ́n ní jẹ́ wọlé. Ó bá máa sọ gbogbo òyìnbó. So let's turn our camera right here. So now you can see number 10 Downing Street. You can't just come in here. You go through the clearance. So clearance here at the go through láàárọ̀ ìka tó wọnú bíbá. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. So that is my clearance, okay? You idiots. Don't ever compare me with any of these nonsense people that they are not registered in UK. They are not registered. Nobody knows them. Okay? Kò sẹ́ni kankan tó mọ any one of their jero wọ́n kàn pariwo lórí social media ni. Nobody knows them anywhere. Okay? This is a clearance. So you can't just come in here and say, o kò máa wọnú bíbá. No. Ìyẹn kankan wọnú bíbá. Okay? It has a process. It is called number 10 Downing Street. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, ẹ̀yin fọkàn balẹ̀. A máa ṣiṣẹ́ tí bàbá Akitoye máa fi wá sọ̀rọ̀ ní bíbá. Ẹ̀yin má worry. Ẹ̀yin ṣá máa jẹ́ ká máa tẹ̀ lọ díẹ̀díẹ̀. Bó pẹ́ bóyá bàbá Akitoye wá sí bíbá láti wá bá prime minister tó bá wà níbẹ̀. Mo mọ prime minister tó máa wà níbẹ̀ as at the time tí bàbá Akitoye bá máa wá. But it does not matter. Ìgbàkígbà tó bá máa wá, he will be here. He will be able to also tell the UK government while the Yoruba people, and it's very beautiful weather. Let me show you the flag. You can see the British flag there. You can see. Can you see the flag? Yes, you can see the flag there, right there. You can see the flag. That is the flag there. So, and if I am here, Ofikwe, one, if Veti, and Tofi wa sọ̀rọ̀ ní bíbá, wa kò jẹ́ anybody wọlé. No, it doesn't work like that. So, ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe sùúrù. We are on the right track. We are doing what the world wants us to do. Number 11, building number 11. That's number 11. That's the chancellor. But Boto Wambeni Rishi Sunak was one time the chancellor. But as we know, he ended up, becoming. I tell you, that coffee from Alaro. Sorry, pé àní béèrè owó. Na má béèrè owó. Wọ́n ti ní pé kẹ́yìn máa fún wa lówó àbí kan tó bá ń sọkọ́ nìyẹn. Why don't Yoruba Nation often survive? I am a freelance journalist and I work for everybody, but for now I am only working and putting all my resources, gbogbo resources minimum, posting Yoruba Nation, even if it's going to cost me as much of time, energy, money. And you don't worry, we are going to be here. We will talk. We will once again mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ń gbọ́ wa káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé, mo kí ọmọdé. Yes, I have to prove that I am a journalist. Journalist is different from somebody that sit down and do cut and paste lórí social media. No, we are not doing cut and paste. I do a lot of reports. Those reports is not for public consumption sometimes. Sometimes they are also for other consumption. So let me leave that. I'm preparing for the Star Radio, so I need to start getting that ready because Archie will be waiting for me on the other side. Once again, Yoruba Nation is non-negotiable. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wá sọ pé Tinubu kò sí tó kàn mí pẹ̀lú Tinubu. Bí Tinubu bá wá sí London, a jọ máa pàdé ní bíbá. Lágbára Elédùmarè. Ibi tí màá ti pàdé ẹ̀ ni. All I just need to know is ìgbà wo ló ń bọ̀ ní UK. That's all. I know you'll be in UK and you will be entertained by our Prime Minister. I know at some point on my invite and I hope it's going to be an official one, a state visit, because state visit is always much powerful. So Tinubu bawa ajoma pàdé níbí báyìí. But one thing is, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ní ká má negotiate pẹ̀lú Tinubu. Tá bá negotiate pẹ̀lú Tinubu. Ṣé ẹ fẹ́ kí a kò máa pariwo Yoruba Nation without a negotiation. So ẹ̀yin ò fẹ́ ká negotiate. Àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́, tá bá tẹ̀ ní a máa bára wa fa sùúrùtù pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà. It is still our right to negotiate. We will negotiate. Ẹ má bínú, there's something blocking here, so it's actually blocking the, my view. Ó ń jẹ́ kójú mi kó dark, but tí bá ní kí n lọ sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ lọ́hùn, mọ́tò yìí to block. So that is the best position I can stay. So ìyẹn ló ń jẹ́ kójú mi kó look like, it's a bit dark. It's just coming up to 11 o'clock. So in the next 15 minutes, I'll be switching to Star Radio. So I need to start preparing for that as well. So bear with us. Once again, a very good morning. Ẹ fọkàn yín balẹ̀, kò sẹ́ni kankan tó lè dá wa dúró ní àárọ̀ yìí. Now let's talk about the UK. Mo bá wife mi sọ̀rọ̀ láàárọ̀, mo ní the UK transport for London, ẹ mọ iye tó pa ní so far ní last year, 224 million pounds sterling. So ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá drive mọ́tò tí kò wà recommended nínú central London, they're expanding it now. I'm sure ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń drive ní UK, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So if you are driving a vehicle tí kò wà, wọ́n pè ní ULEZ, tó bá wà up to the standard, that means pé before you know, o máa san £12.50. Ṣé rí opportunity tó wà tá bá dá dúró is anonymous, is big. Transport kò ń ṣe tó ń gbé fún agbèrò. How can a government leave transportation in the hands of average people? No, you will set up a system. That system will be the one láti make sure pé transport Ọ̀yọ́ state, transport Kwara, Ọ̀ṣun, ó wà lọ́wọ́ government. And if you want to send us any message, info@koikimedia.com, and that way, ẹ má bínú ìtẹ́wà lórí Instagram. I don't know why the camera keeps in and out. So, like I said, we're going to be joining Archie very soon. So, I will have to end the Facebook on this one. Ẹ máa ní láti lọ sórí Koiki Odùduwà, those of you on Koiki Media, because that is the line that I'm going to be speaking with Archie in the next few minutes. So, Obeta Kelonisin, because I'm going to stop it now because I need that phone to do some of the, okay, maybe I might just start this one temporarily, but I don't know. But for now, those of you watching right here, Elosori Koiki Odùduwà, and start watching from there. Thank you so much. But the YouTube will be on, the Instagram Koiki Media is live, Koiki Media Odùduwà is on as well, because I have 15 minutes and I need to prepare myself for the Star Radio UK network. Thank you so much, those of you. Later on, we will be back on this, but for now, we need to end this channel. Thank you so much. So you can go on YouTube and continue watching, or go on Koiki Media Odùduwà and continue to watch and listen to Star Radio UK. So, as I'm preparing for the Star Radio UK network, I'd like to appreciate all our leaders that are working tirelessly. Dupe Onitiri is not our leader. She's just a distraction trying to disturb the peaceful movement. And those that are in UK knows that. How can you live in UK, country, and you think that we are going to be as stupid to believe that nonsense? We are not going to be stupid to believe that nonsense. Thank you so much, Aziz Nimayami. Once again, Mukibu Bomo Yoruba, Kakiri, all hail the Biafra. Nigerians, I understand. You want the court to do the needful with Bola Tinubu. It's too late. You're wasting your too much energy. It is not going to happen. It is better that every single one of us start asking. The 1999 Constitution is a fraud. Everybody have talked about it. Everybody knows the Constitution is a fraud. But Nigerians are just gullible people. They know that that Constitution is holding you back. The reason why you don't have a system that is working is because they are holding every single one of you back. So we're just going to be going into the program for now with Star Radio. But for now, let us just enjoy this very, very small music while I prepare for the Star Radio network. Yoruba Nation is non-negotiable. We love Dr. Sunday Igboho. We will love you forever. We will continue to appreciate what you have done, especially for our ọmọ Yoruba. Kò sí owó tá fi fún yín tá lè fi san ẹ̀san yẹn padà, because he has sacrificed everything that he has just to make sure that the world is listening to us. So for now, Okay, why has this one stopped? Is what I don't know. Okay, let's see if we can start this again. So, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa gbádùn ilé ìlọ́mọ̀ ń bọ̀. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí, mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ. Thank you so much. Bear with us. It might be known the network is the one playing around. Ṣókè àgbà Hausa Fúlàní wọ̀nyí bọ́ ṣe ń pa wá. Sí tó kan ọmọ Yorùbá, bàbá pa wá. Èrò bá mi kọ́ máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́, èmi kí ẹ mọ̀ yíyan kí ẹ kókò dé ọdún yìí. Èrò bá mi kọ́ mọ́ wọn ní ipò rẹ̀. Ìdá màrúkú bàbá ti di pẹ̀lẹ́ wọn bàbá rúkú bàbá ṣojọ́. Sunday. Ẹyẹ tó máa ṣe bọ́ kí ẹ ò sí ní gbọ́mọ́. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Òrìṣà tí ó ṣe bọ́kọ̀ ọmọdé ẹ mọ́ ni. Ṣé bí òun ọmọ lágbẹ̀dẹ? Ẹ bá lè jẹ́ ìbọnú jẹ́. Adéyẹmí ẹ̀mí ọmọ sọ́kọ̀ mọ́lá ìdá. Ó ní pé. Kìkì orí tó máa kọ́ ni wípé Yorùbá lè ṣàyìn lọ́kọ̀ ìbá kiri. Ẹ̀dá bí rẹ̀ ṣọ̀wọ́ òye. Ẹ fọkàn yín balẹ̀, wọ́n mọ̀ pa wà on the right track, wọ́n fẹ́ ká ṣe gbogbo push ni, wọ́n fẹ́ máa dà wá bíròbírò. Ẹ rò pé àwọn generation ti tẹ́lẹ̀ làwà, àwọn ṣe generation ti tẹ́lẹ̀ o. This is a new generation and this generation is different. So why is this not connecting? Ta ló ń pè mí sí? Bàbá ti wà lórí program lẹ́la máa pè wá, ta ló ń pè? Mo wà lórí program sir. Mo wà lórí program nísìn. All right then, all right sir, all right. Not been let's go back to that music. In 6 minutes, we join Archie in the studio. Ó yà wá lẹ́nu. Wọ́n ní sọ̀dọ̀dọ̀. Wọ́n ti jẹ́ dodo. Wọ́n ní sọ̀dọ̀dọ̀. Telling people lies that Nigeria is going to work. 75% Nigerians can't read well. Well, the faker. In 5 minutes, I'm at Joint Star Radio. Just getting ready. In 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, I'm at Joint Star Radio. In 5 minutes. I'm at Joint Star Radio in 5 minutes. Okay. They're with us. I'm at Joint Studio Listen. One of my phone is not picking the hotspot. I'm not sure why. Then I need a lot if you communicate with the Star Radio. So I'm not sure why it's not picking. Concentrate, iPhone fail. Identify password, select it. Something is not right. Something is not right. We are just 1 minute. In the next 1 minute, I might switch to Star Radio. So 11 o'clock. Big Ben London, so I must switch to Star Radio. Listen, I must switch to Star Radio. Listen, I can hear the Big Ben already, so I must switch to Star Radio in the next. I must switch to Star Radio. Listen, so. So we're going live on the Star Radio network now. So let's listen. Hopefully the audio will come out to everybody. Star Radio. So, but more the mic so that Ali drops it on everybody. So let's see.
vaccine through the NHS app, online, at any.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119 for free. All right. It's not okay. How many times I love it? I said, okay. We are all the way in 10 Dowing Street. Let's set up that way. We are in the UK and I'm no other person but the one and only lovely people is there in the rain or sunshine there, ready to bring you. If you cannot see it, well, from the sun, the position of the sun, that's why you cannot see it. It's very, very clear. But we can see that is my young there for you. Good morning to you.
Well, good morning to you, Mr. Achi, and good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the world. And welcome once again to the Star Radio UK network. It is a beautiful Friday. I know the picture is not a little bit too clear. We might move maybe a little bit, but for now, just so that we can capture, the 10 Downing Street, the famous ball. But I'm going to come back again to you in the studio. Good morning to Frank. Good morning to all our listeners from around the world. And welcome once again to the Friday edition, the last day of the week. And sometimes some of us get paid, while some are just waiting, to make sure that they can get paid, especially if you are in Nigeria.
Okay, I think you're great. I think you're great. Whatever the situation is, don't worry. I'm now ready. Okay, so how long did it take you that is if you were traveling to Nigeria, picking up food, or you were in Ghana or any place, how did it start and how the journey was like?
Well, I actually traveled on the bus because, as you can tell, the weather is a little bit hot. Make sure you have enough water with you when you're traveling. But from where I was traveling from to Trafalgar Square, I'm going to be telling you more about what is happening. There's an event coming up tomorrow in Trafalgar Square on Sunday. We're going to be talking about that in a few minutes. It was actually about almost an hour, 29 minutes. And that was because there was a changeover on some of the buses I was getting on. And as I was approaching, Houston, you could see the famous BT Tower, which has been used to send messages across the world. Remember that most of the time, the royal family, when they give birth, the BT Tower, tells us whether it's a boy or it's a girl. But this morning, the only message on it says, "Good morning, London." As I was approaching Trafalgar Square, they are preparing for a concert, being put together by the Westminster Council. It's going to be a friend event. As you can tell, there's a lot happening when it comes to UK and London. And that literally means that Saturday, tomorrow, it will be a very, very busy. Also, reminder, I told you that this is a week of the Tech Week. And, yesterday, the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, I'm not sure whether he's in at the moment, but if you remember yesterday, it was outside, trying to do what they call the immigration walkabout. But London is a very busy place, walking all the way down before getting to number 10 Downing Street. You could tell that the tourists are arriving, and they're arriving in their huge numbers. Star Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Downing Street, from Nigeria back. You may say that you don't even have the right to decide to speak on Spanish. Coming from town, on your travel, what have been some of the response of the various people? Massive AS, or like, what are they thinking when it comes to they ask whether Boris Johnson, the lie, Parliament, and everything?
I was reading the paper on the bus, and you could tell that the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson is not pleased with that outcome of the committee. The question is, how can we link this again to Nigeria? We've heard about different committees set up, and there's never going to be an outcome. That committee sat for 14 months. And do you know what it has published? It's brought out 30,000 pages, and I was reading through, some of, And while we were locked down, in 2020, the prime minister, the former prime minister Boris Johnson, was literally having a different, get together. He was celebrating his 59th birthday. He did say that it seems that hunt, is a winch hunt for him. I think Africa people will say, I'm not sure whether they have a winch hunt, because every little thing in Africa we term it to, the witchcraft issue. But it seems that, when Boris Johnson was in power, behind that closed door, while family across the UK were totally locked down, they were having gatherings. But he says he disagreed with that committee. We've had a lot of committees as well set up in Nigeria. Let me take you back to a committee that was set up to review the issues that has now generated those that are agitating for the right to self-determination in terms of the restructure of Nigeria. They have this committee. Millions of naira was spent, but it seems that everything is under the table again as usual. But not yet in UK. The committee completed its job after 14 months, and eventually a 30-page document is now out for those of us that would like to read through. I was able to look at one of the pictures that was taken in the house there when Boris Johnson, they were even having people that were living number 10, they were having gatherings. While we could not visit my mom, I could not visit my sister, but Boris Johnson says it is all about the witch hunt, and he disagrees with the outcome of that report.
Okay. Let's start really tonight for giving updates from 10 down the street about actually this company compared during your vacation. If it were something to do with Nigeria or in Ghana or in Africa, how a report like that would find somebody who was that company. So let's take an example as Buhari, as popular as he was when he won the election, and everything, and then a committee sees. Then looks at events with something that is said alleged
I think I'm getting a little bit of the traffic in the noise, so let me see if I can pick you a little bit from here, because I think I can. If you repeat what you said earlier, but if I can get you, I think you're still on that same report. We've had a lot of reports, being set up in Nigeria, but like I said, the question is, whether, when incident happened, I'm just trying to figure out one. Let's talk about the insecurity. We've heard about a lot of the report of the insecurity. The new president came in, and a few days after he came in, the first place he visited was the NSA office, and that for us, those monitoring Nigeria's situation, will say he has done the first step, looking into the security report. But one thing is, how will he be able to hold on to that, report that is getting back? Because every day, Boris Johnson, Richie Sunak, our prime minister, is getting a daily brief when it comes to security across the network in UK. Bola Tinubu, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, will be getting report as well. How he reacts with those reports is something that we'll have to wait and see. But for now, as we say, there is a lot on the desk of the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and we're going to be discussing some of that later on in the news headline from Nigeria this morning. It is easy for us to be in UK and try to see if we can compare, a former prime minister being, asked to come back and tell his own side of things that was happening here. First and foremost, the election tribunal that is currently going on in Nigeria is not yet subsidy as well. The northern traditional leaders, we know that healthcare is one of the biggest problems that we've talked about in Nigeria. Most of the governors in Akitoye, from what we are hearing, is currently in Germany. Even Bola Tinubu himself have spent, not yet, but before, the inauguration, he spent few more weeks in France receiving medical treatment. Whether he will be taking his medical treatment in Nigeria, time will tell. But we know that the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, spent as many days outside Nigeria, here in London, even up to after the King Charles coronation. The president stood back for 10 days where he was receiving medical treatment as well. So we're going to take one more. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio where we can talk about it. Power drunk custom official looted trader shops overnight. There's just too much going on in Nigeria, but this is Star Radio UK, and I'm going to come back to you in the studio at 17 minutes past before we look at some of the other headlines coming out of Nigeria this morning. If you just take off the camera just for a few seconds so that we can reposition a little bit. Yeah, I think, yeah, we're good now. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Well, it will be difficult to, for the appointment, especially most of the governors that have left and worked, are still trying to become a minister, even though Nigerians expect, new breeds of people, to come onto the slot and then push the economy and stabilize the situation as we've been talking about. So there might be new faces. We know that when Bola Tinubu was the governor, then, he's now the president in 1999. He brought in people like, Osibajo, who was then ended up to become the vice president. He's also the product of the current, the former minister of works and transport. No, sorry, the former minister, Babatunde Fashola. So at the moment, expectation is that Bola Tinubu will bring in the new faces into his government, and that will literally helped him stabilize, as against Buhari that for 6 months the former president refused to even appoint anybody. But Bola Tinubu has guaranteed that in 60 days we will start seeing some of his ministers. But like I said, what most of them does is that those that participated in the campaign trail are given slot. Even they might not be doing as much, and some of them might not even be for that same position. We've seen, ministerial posts that have ended up to be not qualified for that particular role, and that has always been, the problem. Going back to the National Bureau of Statistics, the Bureau noted that within a year, the rate had acquired a difference of 4.7% from May 2022, where inflation as at then was 17.71% up until May 2023. Items like the food, the non-alcohol beverages, housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuel has gone up as well. Also, the report on the food inflation rate showed that the food inflation rate has driven up to 24.61%. So when Bola Tinubu is going to be bringing in these ministers, they would have to be out there rolling their sleeves, out there not sitting down in the air condition and moving with escort in a very, very big lifestyle, because Nigerians are really expecting a renewed change. Remember that they promised them the change, they promised them the next level. This new APC government now is promising a renewed change. So the expectation from Nigerians is quite very high. Whether Tinubu will be able to deliver that, time will tell. Well, like I said, but he was the current EFCC chairman as at the time he was traveled. The Nigerians have been talking and asking questions. Also, there is another custom officer that has been asking the current government, Bola Tinubu. His name is Mr. Shegun, from the southwest in Ekiti State. He actually released a video 8 months ago giving Nigerians how movement of crude oil, or PMS, known from Nigeria to Cameroon. He actually stopped those trailers. But you know what? You don't do that when those trailer belongs to the cabals. It was removed from position after the video went and circulated, and that video made some individuals not to feel very comfortable. After 8 months, he has surfaced out again, but this time around, is only asking the President Bola Tinubu to look into so many other names that he has given out to be prosecuted for taking subsidized petrol from Nigeria to Cameroon. Like I said, he's also asking that his health is not in a good shape. So we hope that the current president will be looking into his case. His name is Mr. Shegun, and he's also from Ekiti State. He says, as much as he believes that Nigeria can work, but one thing is, Nigerian government cannot continue to subsidize a petrol that will end up to be stolen and taken to Cameroon. And he has been talking, and we hope the government will do the needful. Apart from that, the Yoruba Nation movement continued over the weekend with so many other activities in terms of the awareness. I've been talking about the negotiation. The UK government is well aware about the 1914 amalgamation. They have those years of document that can be used. But the question is whether the UK government at some point would invite somebody like the leader of the Yoruba self-determination, Professor Adebanjo Akitoye, for a meeting so that we can sit on the round table or decide how those that are agitating. Also, let's talk about Nnamdi Kanu. Remember that the UK government is aware that Nnamdi Kanu, a British citizen, being held in Nigeria after he was kidnapped and rendition. The former ambassador Katrina Lang did little than trying to look into the plight of Nnamdi Kanu. The question is whether the new ambassador representing the British government in Nigeria, Dr. Richard Montegori, will be looking into the case of Nnamdi Kanu, just as we know that the British citizens do not end up outside when they are in danger. Nnamdi Kanu was in danger, and he has been in danger because the Nigerian government did not go through the proper, and I say the proper route to bring him back from Kenya, even if, quote and unquote, Nnamdi Kanu was doing something against the wish of the federal government. But Bola Tinubu hasn't responded yet to both Dr. Sunday Igboho and Nnamdi Kanu. But the question is, these two individuals are asking for something that the Scottish people eventually are asking for, which is the referendum that they got in 2014. But it seems that the Scottish are still out there. And I know that next week, Saturday, Scotland is going to be a very busy place when they'll be coming out again for the protest. The Yoruba people that have been non-violent are asking the British government that at some point, you might have to sit with us so that we can decide the union that brought us together in 1914, whether we want to continue with it or not. This is Star Radio UK, and I'm going to come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie. The Marua, Keke Marua, and the Okada. Well, Buhari, before the former president, yeah, I can hear you. I can still hear you. Before the former president left, he actually collected another $800 million loan. And the reason for that was to subsidize, the average Nigerian that are living in abject poverty. Bola Tinubu has stated that Nigeria should prepare for the pain, maybe for temporary measure, while they stabilize the economy and then start looking into how to support. All the 36 state governors, even those from the PDP and the other political party, have already said and promised to the president that they will work with him so that they can relieve the support. How they're going to do that, nobody knows it. But what we know that is the price from junction to junction, if you're paying 100 naira, you are now paying about 200 naira. It's gone double, and that is a big problem. So, and since what we have been hearing is that it's costing the government over 400 billion naira every month. While somebody moved, like the custom officer that continued to say that movement of these petrol to Cameroon, somebody is making about 35 million naira, even though that tanker has been subsidized. So, like I said, it will be a rough ride for so many Nigerians that have already lived in abject poverty, according to the World Bank. With the removal of the subsidy, Bola Tinubu says there is no returning back to that. Remember that the NLC, the Nigerian Labour Congress, are still in discussion. They've actually put the hold on the protest, that was meant to come out some few weeks ago. How much more time with the negotiation in terms of the salary increment is going to take place? And whether some of the states can pay that salary is another question. As we know, Nigeria would have to buckle up a little bit because it's going to be a bumpy ride. Well, as we go over the weekend, like I said, Central London is going to be very, very busy, as, there's an event going on. But on the Star Radio UK network, we'll be back again on Monday as we continue, the transmission. But for now, stay tuned over the weekend with all the activities that is going to be coming up on the Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. As we say, If it's not the Star Radio UK, it can never be anywhere else. Thank you so much for those of you that have joined us, and we appreciate. Bye for now. Bye for now. All right, I'm coming back to those of you here, for the time being.
They're finished.
They get to get feed, is it? They need food.
They need
You have to do. All right, let's go.
You use 4 phones.
Yeah.
Are they all connected to each other?
No, they're independent away from each other. Independent from each
Are you
other.
switch from one to another one?
No, they're operating separately.
Oh,
They're operating separately. All right, let's come here. That's how I do see you. Only lots of word to me, so. The map, is the internet connection that was having a bit of hiccup there, but we're back again. To those of you that are still with us, so we still spend more time to talk, and then we continue with our own program. So those of you that are live with us, I'm going to switch things around again. Some of you will don't have time for them come. Lori, Star Radio. So I'm going to turn. Oh, this one is even. So I'm going to turn the light off so that I can have. The internet is very, very poor. So, but. Moki Wugwalenkonsi, as we are still live from number 10 Downing Street, which take us into our own program that we normally do after Star Radio. So, Moki Wugwalenkonsi, bear with us. So we're gonna go live with conversation. I'm gonna continue lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ lánàá nípa United Nations. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n disconnect eléyìí, and then we can have a proper, because the other platforms are not coming in today. So for me, few minutes, and let's turn things around, and then let's do it one way or the other. Mombo, so let me connect us back, and then we can continue with what we are doing. Okay, Ogwalen kan say. Ma ori tí a bá ti ní Yoruba government. A máa ní ẹni tó máa jẹ́ station fún Yoruba reporter láti London. Ká máa report fún wa. Bó ṣe máa rí nìyẹn, ó kù díẹ̀ ni, ẹ̀yin máa wọrí. Lójú àwọn kan, wọ́n rò pé ní tá à ń ṣe yẹn péré là ń ṣe. Ojú gbogbo ló máa ṣe. Ojú ló ń kán ìbòjì. Òòrùn gan ṣì ń bọ̀ níbẹ̀, òun lọ̀rọ̀ tó wà ńlẹ̀. Ojú ló ń kán ìbòjì. Kí ni mo sọ? Òòrùn gan ṣe kí ni ẹ̀hẹ́n. Òòrùn gan fúnra rẹ̀ gan ń bọ̀ níbẹ̀. So ojú ló ń kán. Òòrùn ń bọ̀ níbẹ̀. Ní ilé fìlà mi padà. Ojú ló ń kán ìbòjì. Òòrùn fúnra rẹ̀ gan ṣe kí ni. Ó ń bọ̀ níbẹ̀. Ó ń bọ̀ níbẹ̀. Ojú ló ń kán. Abẹ́ ṣẹ́ẹ̀dì ló ń fún mi. Ló ń jẹ́ kí gbogbo ẹ̀ dúdú júgújúgú báyìí. So maybe I should move away from this abẹ́ ṣẹ́ẹ̀dì. Let's move a little bit because kò jẹ́ kí ojú mi jáde dáadáa. Ó dáa kó bẹ́tà báyìí díẹ̀ nísìnyí. Àwa ṣe program tiwa tá a máa ń ṣe lọ. Ó bẹ́tà báyìí nísìnyí. So let's Let's stay like this at least. So, we better buy. We better buy. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí pé a very good afternoon and welcome as we now go into our afternoon program. So I'm gonna go through the afternoon program now since Tatipari Star Radio. We go straight into Muki Walen Konsepe. Very good afternoon and welcome to the live transmission. Níbi tí I think the ọ̀rọ̀ ìjọ ní ọ̀rọ̀ ìyẹ́ anything. So where we are right here. Àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ ìyẹ́ anything. So ó kù díẹ̀ ni bọ́ fẹ́ bọ́kọ̀. Ìran Yorùbá máa bọ́ nínú oko ẹrú ta wà náà. Oko ẹrú Nàìjíríà tó ṣiṣẹ́. Nàìjíríà tó ti di pain sí wa lọ́rùn. Nàìjíríà ò ṣiṣẹ́. Àwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ fẹ́ accept pé kò ṣiṣẹ́. Wọ́n mọ̀ everybody mọ̀ pé Nàìjíríà ò ṣiṣẹ́. But because we live in denial, irọ́ ti pọ̀ jù. Everybody, you know, everybody is waiting for one miracle pé kó ṣẹlẹ̀. Miracle rẹ̀ lè ṣẹlẹ̀. Àwa la máa béèrè fún ẹ̀tọ́ wa. So n tí mò ń ṣe tá à ń ṣe níbí báyìí náà nísìn. Ara ìtọ́ tá à ń béèrè fún náà ni pé kí àwọn àgbáyé ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà ńlẹ̀ kó tó di kó máa di gbàsgbòs. Tó bá dẹ̀ ti di gbàsgbòs ìyẹn ń dá. So the quicker the world get the message, the better for every single one of us. So the better for every single one of us. But tá bá náà wọ́n fi gbọ́, okay. Bó bá yá olúkálùkù máa mọ way forward. Àwọn tó máa ń béèrè pé ṣẹ́ṣọ́ ọ̀pẹ máa gba Yorùbá nation, ṣẹ́ṣọ́ ọ̀pẹ máa gba Yorùbá nation, Yorùbá nation wọn ló lè wáyé, ṣé Yorùbá nation máa wáyé? Ojú gbogbo wa ló máa ṣe. Kò dìgbà tí a bá ń kọrin fún yín kó máa wáyé, ojú everybody ló máa ṣe. Kò sí ẹni tó lè dá Yorùbá nation dúró. Ẹ lè delay ẹ̀ ni. Gọ́fìmẹ̀ntì Tinubu ò lè dá Yorùbá nation dúró because gọ́fìmẹ̀ntì Tinubu gan mọ̀ purpose tí a ṣe ń béèrè fún Yorùbá nation. And Yorùbá nation is nothing to do with APC. APC ṣe tiẹ̀. APC is a government. Àbọ̀rọ̀ wọ̀nyí yé nísìn. Government ní APC, àwọ̀ kì í ṣe APC. Àbọ̀rọ̀ wọ̀nyí yé nísìn. We are not APC. We are those asking for the same right. The same right tí àwọn Scotland ń béèrè fún. Òun làwa náà ń béèrè fún. The question now we should ask is, when people say, ẹ lè negotiate, ìrọ̀lẹ́ ń pa, Yorùbá nation lè wáyé, báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ wáyé nígbà tí àwọn ọba ò tí fàṣẹ sí, ìjòyè ò fàṣẹ sí, kinní kan. So àwọn yẹn lè fẹ́ dúró de, ẹ fẹ́ dúró de àwọn ọba, ẹ fẹ́ dúró de ìjòyè, ẹ fi ipá àwọn yẹn máa fún yín ní pé kẹ́ lọ gba country. No, but àjọṣe wa ti Nàìjíríà máa ṣe analysis sí lẹ́tà bàbá again. Mo ti kà láàárọ̀, so mo kàn máa ṣe analysis lé lórí mi. Àjọṣepọ̀ wa kò lè ṣiṣẹ́, kò lè dánmọ́rán. So kíyàn kan máa fò lára wọn. The relationship ta ní pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà ó ti affect àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá. Relationship ta ní pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà ó ti ṣe kí ni? Ó ti affect wa. Bó ṣe wọ́n affect wa yẹn, the more ta bá ṣì ń pẹ́ sínú Nàìjíríà, bàbá Akitoye lo èdè kan ní bíbá, the more ta bá ń pẹ́ sínú Nàìjíríà, Nàìjíríà ti di The more ní page 5 of this letter, very beautiful weather láàárọ̀ àbí lọ́sàn-án àti fìlà mú 12 aago 12 àti fìlù. The more tá a bá dúró sínú Nàìjíríà, the more tá a bá pẹ́ sínú Nàìjíríà, Nàìjíríà ti di vortex, ó ti di ìdọ̀tí. The more the Yoruba nation remains stuck into the trap. Ṣé mọ̀ pé trap ní Nàìjíríà? Màá dẹ̀ sọ bó ṣe jẹ́ trap fún yín. Nítorí máa ń ṣe ni pé wọ́n á ní ká má wọrí, ká ṣe sùúrù, ẹ jẹ́ ká tún gbìyànjú ká dìbò ọdún 4 sí. Tẹ́ bá wá dìbò ọdún 4 yẹn tán, kí ni outcome? Ìwọ ni mò ń bí o, ìwọ tó ń sọ pé Nàìjíríà ò ṣiṣẹ́ àbò ń ṣiṣẹ́, àbọ̀rọ̀ mò yẹ nísìn. Mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Àlàbá. The more tá a bá dúró sínú Nàìjíríà, ó ti di trap fún wa. Trap ní Nàìjíríà. Ìwọ wá ń dúró kí àwọn foreign media káwọn máa sọ nípa problem tiwa. No, problem tó ń dì pẹ̀lú lójoojúmọ́ lágbàáyé is too much. Wọ́n ń dì pẹ̀lú Ukraine, wọ́n ń dì pẹ̀lú Sudan, wọ́n ń dì pẹ̀lú Russia. There is too many problems. Problem ti pọ̀ jù. So àwa la máa create media tiwa, àwa la máa create advantage tá a máa fi communicate pẹ̀lú àgbáyé pé àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá à ṣe Nàìjíríà mọ́. UK building tẹ́ ń wò yìí, institution tẹ́ ń wò yìí, they are part and parcel of what we call Nigeria. But so many of us are waiting for somebody else to come and talk about problems tọ̀dọ̀ tiwa. So ṣé bàbá Akitoye tó ní the more the Yoruba nation remains stuck into the trap in the vortex of the Nigerian trash machine, the more stagnated, stagnated, and backward. Today, ìran Yorùbá wà backward. A tẹ̀síwájú, a lọ sẹ́yìn. Ẹni tó bá ráyè tó sá kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà, a máa tẹ̀síwájú. Ṣé gbogbo wa la máa kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà? Ṣé gbogbo 40 million ló máa kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà? Impossible. There is no way we can remove all the 40 million people tó jọmọ Yorùbá. But mo sọ ní pé àwọn olóṣèlú gangan, àwọn ní the real problem tí wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ ká nílọsíwájú. Because wọ́n mọ̀ pé tá a bá ti nílọsíwájú, a máa question wọn. A máa question wọn. And they don't want you to question them. Why should we be in a Nigeria where federal ló ń control gbogbo tó wà ní state wa? Why? Kí ló dé tó jẹ́ pé ní state tiwa federal ló ń control ẹ̀? Kí ló dé táwa ò lè control ẹ̀ fúnra wa? Ṣèbí nígbà tó fún wa ní independent, ṣèbí regional government ló gbélé wa lọ́wọ́? Ṣé regional government yẹn la ṣe nílò bí sìn? Ṣèbí regional government ni wọ́n fún wa nígbà tá a dé ní 1960 tá a gba independent. Mo ti gbé yín lọ sí Lancaster House, mo ti ṣe breakdown ẹ̀ fún yín. So irú alàgbà kan tó ń bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí program lánàá tó ń comment, ó ní tá a bá sọ pé a fẹ́ Yorùbá ni, ó ní kí ló dé tíyàn kan ṣì ń jẹ́ Nàìjíríà. It shows ọmọ Jaguar is fine o, ó dẹ́ndẹ́n beautiful EV 400 ẹ ṣì gidi bọ́rọ̀ mo yẹ nísìn, but irọ́ ti pọ̀ jù. Àwọn olóṣèlú irọ́ they keep telling us lies. Ẹ jẹ́ ká dìbò, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ dìbò, after 4 years a máa fún yín ní gbogbo tẹ́ fẹ́, then tá a bá ti fún yín ní gbogbo tá a fẹ́ yẹn tán, then nǹkan máa work. No, that is not what we want right now. What we want right now is for us to have a self-determination. So tí president bá jẹ́ Yorùbá, ṣé ó máa wà níbẹ̀ forever? Àná ẹ̀ ní làákàyè. Ó ń béèrè pé Koiki, what do you want again? President is Yorùbá now. So Tinubu máa wà níbẹ̀ forever. Ó dà ń pé o ti mú pàìpàì ìwọ tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn. Èyí tẹ́ ẹ̀ ní understanding. Ṣé ọba ní Tinubu ní Nàìjíríà? Ṣé ó máa jọba for 8 years? After 8 years, kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀? A lot of you don't understand future àsọ immediate. Ẹ lọ jẹ lọ́dọ̀ Tinubu, mo ti ní kẹ́ lọ sọ́dọ̀ Tinubu, kẹ́ kúrò níwájú wa. Ẹ lọ sọ́dọ̀ Tinubu, kẹ́ lọ jẹ níbẹ̀. Àwa ń sọ nípa after 8 years. Ṣé tí Tinubu bá ṣe tán ní 8 years? Kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀? Ǹjẹ́ ń ronú bẹ́ẹ̀? Tí Tinubu bá fix gbogbo Nàìjíríà fún yín, tí Málà bá dé tóun tó drag wa padà sẹ́yìn. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ future, ẹ̀yin ń sọ̀rọ̀ present. Mo ní kẹ́ kó lọ sí Àbújá, kẹ́ lọ máa gbé níbẹ̀. Ẹ kó lọ sí Àbújá, ṣebí ọmọ Yorùbá ló wà níbẹ̀. Kí gbogbo yín máa lọ gbé níbẹ̀. But àwa ò gbé ní Àbújá. Àwa fẹ́ ìlú tiwa. A fẹ́ independent country tí wàá lè máa pè mí níta pé mo ṣe Nàìjíríà. Wàá máa ní ọmọ Yorùbá ni mí. Identity ó wà important. A ní true identity. Nigeria is not our true identity. So Tinubu is there just for a small time. Yes, we understand. Yẹn la ṣe negotiate pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ nísìn. Because Buhari Fúlàní ni kò dá nǹkan kan mọ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ní Buhari ti lọ sí ibi ṣe ń gbọ́ nísìn, wọn ló ti lọ sí Daura. So Buhari ò mọ kò dá anything mọ̀. Àbọ̀rọ̀ mò yẹ nísìn. Buhari ti lọ Daura báyìí. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ pé a fẹ́ kúrò. Sórí the world Nigeria tá ti sọ fún yín pé n tó ń jẹ́ Nigeria, until tí wọ́n bá ní identity tiẹ̀ nínú ẹ̀ máa dùn. Bó o kúrò Nigeria gan, ṣé o gbọ́dọ̀ ní identity ni? But ẹlòmíì nítorí òun wà nínú Nigeria kò matter. Identity yẹn gangan ni problem. Identity. We don't have the true identity. So gbogbo ẹni tẹ máa ń sọ pé Tinubu ti débẹ̀ nísìn, ká lọ jókòó, ká lọ okay, mò ń bọ̀ níbà láàárọ̀ nísìn. Ṣé mọ̀ pé Nigerian embassy is just about gbogbo tí bá rìn láti bí inú number 10 nísìn. Nigerian embassy is just about 5 minutes. Èrò pọ̀ níta ní London ní 21st century. Mo kí gbogbo ilé nǹkan sí. Ẹ má bínú pé Juliet Tosin, Azeez, Adéjọkẹ́, mo kí mọ́mì wa Ọ̀bádára. Ẹ má dá lóhùn. Olú ọmọ ó ní kí n sọ́rí nísìn. Mo sọ fún yín pé mo ò bá Tinubu jẹ́ èèyàn ọmọ APC. Ẹ̀yin lẹ́ ń ṣì mí gbọ́. Tinubu is a Yoruba man, kò ń ṣe Yoruba president, but Yoruba man ni bọ̀ advantage ni. So n tí Tinubu gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe nísìn ni pé kó tó gbogbo ètò tí olúkálukú máa fi máa lọ nílùú ẹ̀. Tí Tinubu bá ṣe tán, tí Nàìjíríà bá ṣe exist, ìyà máa jẹ gbogbo wa ní o. I'm not joking. Bó bá àwọn Tinubu kó change gbogbo structure immigration officer wa àti embassy wa, kó kó Yorùbá síbẹ̀, kó kó àwọn ẹlòmíì náà síbẹ̀. Tó bá lọ tán, Málà tó bá ń bọ̀ ní right láti yọ ambassador tó wà níbẹ̀. Temporary measure ni. In tó kò lè ṣe nísìnyí pé kó prepare bó ṣe máa make sure pé olúkálukú lọ nílò ẹ̀. Àwọn kan níyẹn kí Tinubu lọ ṣe regional government. A sì máa wà nínú Nàìjíríà náà nìyẹn. A need the regional government mo nísìn. Internet ni pé tó ń pè ní independent country. Ìlú tí mo wà nísìn ó wà independent, kò sí lábẹ́ anybody. Kéèyàn wà independent so that tí bá wà níbí báyìí nísìn wọ́n ní ọmọ Yorùbá lélẹ̀. Kò ń ṣe pé ìtàn ní Anthony Joshua tó jẹ́ṣẹ́ is a Nigerian but a British. But Anthony Joshua originally ọmọ Yorùbá ni. The same thing pẹ̀lú girl tó ṣe tó dáná yẹn lẹ́kìtì. Ìyẹn tẹ̀ náà òun ṣe for fun ni. Àwọn èèyàn nìyẹn kò Guinness World Record. Òun ọmọ yẹn ní náà òun ṣe for fun. Ó dẹ̀ dáná for 120 hours. Ó ṣùọ́ pé èmi tí mo wà ní London yìí nísìn àti wọ́n tó wà nílé, ẹ̀jẹ̀ kan náà ló ń ràn lára gbogbo wa. Ìyàtọ̀ kan ni pé àwọn olórí burúkú olóṣèlú yín wọ́n ti fìyà jẹ yín. Bomb bastard ni wọ́n, ìkà gidi ni wọ́n. wọ́n ò fẹ́ jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ lọ síwájú àwọn olóṣèlú yín wọ́n mọ tán ṣe náà ìyẹn ni bàbá Akitoye sọ pé the more tá a bá dúró sínú Nàìjíríà ìyà sì máa jẹ wá lọ́jọ́ iwájú ẹ jẹ́ á fi Nàìjíríà sílẹ̀. It is not working for anybody. So Tinubu is there but he's not going to be there permanently. Kọ́nà fún lẹ́mìí gúngún àtàláfíà tó máa fi put gbogbo tó fẹ́ ṣe and Nàìjíríà kò lè work. Nàìjíríà dàbí Titanic tó ti wà nù omi ó ti rì. So ọkọ̀ tó wà nù omi ẹ wá ní kí Tinubu fà jáde lọ́nà wo ló fẹ́ gbà? Ọ̀nà wo ni ó fẹ́ gbà tó máa fi fà jáde? So but understanding ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wà ń lé ni pé ó dà pé àníṣẹ́ àwátà no ok ṣọmọ pé Mandela nígbà kan wọ́n pè ní terrorist èrè ẹ̀ wà níbẹ̀ yẹn nísìn èrè Mandela ti bá jáde níbí báyìí nísìn máa fi wọ̀nyí èrè Mandela ẹni tó pè ní terrorist but nǹkan kan ló ń jà fún. Mandela ò sí láyé mọ́ nísìn even though pa mọ̀ pé South Africa ó ṣì ní a bit of problem but in tí Mandela jà fún níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn àwọn kan tí ń jèrè ẹ̀ nísìn. ẹ̀dẹ́ máa sọ fún wa pé káwa nu Nàìjíríà kò dìgbà tá a bá tóbi nídìí ká tóbi kankan títóbi yẹn kí ni ìwúlò títóbi kí ni ìwúlò pé atóbi atóbi ok kí ni ìwúlò ẹ̀ kí ni the purpose pé atóbi kò ní any value kò ní anything kí ni ìwúlò pé atóbi nínú Nàìjíríà mo kí bàbá wa dada Nurudeen mo kí sà mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa tẹ́wà lórí ètò Grandma Felicia mo kí ni advantage pé Nàìjíríà tóbi? We are indigenous people. Yorùbá ni wá ká tó máa sọ pé Nàìjíríà but nítorí pé wọ́n ti kó wa papọ̀ bàbá mi ṣìtù wọn mọ́ mi mo kí yín so understanding yẹn la ṣe ní pẹ̀lú ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé ẹ̀ ń fi pé bóyá we are angry we are upset níṣẹ́ so lọ́kùn ẹ̀ nísìn mo rò pé mo níṣẹ́ tó bá wo ẹ̀gbẹ́ mi nísìn wo ẹ̀gbẹ́ mi báyìí sórí kí ló rò wọ́n ṣe mẹ́ẹ̀ sórí woman yẹn sórí kí ló ń ṣe mẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n prepare for program ṣòfin pé àwọn ilé máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Yorùbá nation mò ń bèrè ni o ṣòfin pé ntẹ́mi sọ nísìn pẹ̀fẹ́yìn tẹ́ wà lórí fọ́nrán àlàáfíà ni mo wà Mr. Perry Tony ages mú kí àwọn ilé nísìn kò sí tó kàn wọ́n pẹ̀lú Yorùbá nation ó ní reason ó ní kan tó wá report ní bíbà tó bá ti report tàwọn náà máa lọ ntẹ́mi náà wá report ní bíbà òun ni mò ń report fún yín and kò dẹ̀ síbi kankan lágbàáyé you would negotiate with the government. But in tọ́pẹ́ ká máa ṣe ni pé ẹ má jẹ́ ká negotiate pẹ̀lú Tinubu kí la fẹ́ negotiate pẹ̀lú Tinubu fún. No, we have to negotiate with him because he's the current president. So one thing is the Yoruba people are ready but we still have so many àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń ṣe politics at the understanding ó difficult fún yín láti come out ní sìkẹ́ ní ẹ fẹ́ Yorùbá nation nígbà tí Tinubu ń ṣe government but àwọn nídìí láti sọ fún yín pa fẹ́ ṣe Tinubu last brown mo kí ẹ ti Libya mo kí ẹ ti Australia ẹ̀yin ti New Zealand so this kí la fẹ́ Yorùbá nation fún no a fẹ́ Yorùbá nation ká lè padà síbi tí orísun wa wà ká lè ní development but the first thing is fún lè fún wa ní the real identity. Oh, Labide, let me relax and listen to Koiki. So, in terms of nìyẹn, so that you can intimidate ara wọn. Kódà Tinubu government gan nísìn, kọ́lọ̀ ń jẹ́ kí ìwọ tó ń support Tinubu gan, kọ́lọ̀ ń jẹ́ orí tí ẹ ṣe níbẹ̀. O ṣáà gbọ́n tí mo sọ lórí Star Radio lẹ́ẹ̀kan. 22% inflation. Inflation náà wà ní UK o. Inflation wà l'Amẹ́ríkà ìyàtọ̀ kan ni pé government wọ́n subsidize ẹ̀ fún wọn so ìwọ tó ń sọ pé ká lọ jókòó ká lọ fi kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀ n tá à ń ṣe ìkáyé disturb ara wa no tá a bá ṣe a ti ń fi wàhálà yẹn sílẹ̀ ẹ wo àwọn bàbá wa Payọ̀ Adébánjọ nísìn 95 years old wọ́n ti gbìyànjú tí wọ́n ti béèrè fún restructure Nigeria what refuse that restructure Nigeria for over how many decades làwọn bàbá yẹn ti ń pariwo pé kọ́ restructure Nigeria kó tó di pọ́rọ̀ Yorùbá nation kan wá ta jáde ṣèbí wọ́n ti ní kọ́ restructure Nigeria ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ lè fẹ́ restructure Nigeria kẹ́ keep 1999 constitution sórí constitution tí Tinubu máa fi run government yẹn bàbá fraud ni ó lè ní constitution yẹn lọ wò lórí social media lọ sórí YouTube lọ sórí Google that constitution bí àwọn òbí àmọ́ lè play video yẹn again ó náà kí mo ṣe ní one spare phone phone mẹ́rin là ń lò so pẹ̀lú kámẹ́rà mi tí mo gbé wá mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí Yorùbá nation kò sẹ́ni tó lè dá dúró ẹ má bínú pé ó wà ìlébi tí bá lọ báyìí ẹ ní kọ́ rí mẹ́ni ìyẹn ló ṣe láyé pé ó dark the images is a bit dark ẹ jẹ́ kí n play farabalẹ̀ kó gbọ́ nípa 1999 constitution yẹn the 1999 constitution of Nigeria a máa play ní sí it's a fraud ó jẹ́ kó jettison ẹ̀ ní that constitution yẹn náà ni Tinubu máa wá tó wá lò tó máa fi ṣe ìjọba lé lórí mo ń bọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká advert yẹn tán àbílẹ̀ constitution yẹn nísìnyí mo kí ẹ my brother mo ti gbá bàbá yẹn dànù mo ti yọ kúrò lórí burúkú mo ti gbọ́n wèrè dànù ọlánìpẹ̀kun mo ń bọ̀.
Moral conduct. Then we justify. They have part of the blame, but they don't have all the blame. The problem, I think, like the Patriots pointed out a long time ago, is that Constitution, Decree 24 of 1999, is a diktat.
It's a diktat.
It
Constitution is a diktat.
Itself, what you are brandishing.
Kò sí bó ṣe ní o fẹ́ work ní Nàìjíríà.
It's an illegitimate instrument.
Illegitimate instrument.
There's nowhere where we all agree that will be the constitution.
We the people rọwọ mo kí ẹ darí Ìdòwú Michael.
The Patriots have said it. Okay, and Ben Wagozi continues to say. I attend meetings on the black table where Ben Wagozi presides, and he will tell you that constitution is a fraud.
That constitution is a fraud.
Do and autochthonous constitution for ourselves. So please let us recognize the limitations of the 1999 so-called constitution.
Now,
And believe the constitution.
ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tí bàbá yẹn sọ ó ní let us jettison this constitution, this fraudulent constitution tó ní any interest anybody. Kò ní interest Hausa, kò ní interest Yorùbá, kò ní interest ọmọ Igbo. That constitution yẹn lè wá fẹ́ ká keep ká máa run constitution yẹn kò possible. So the only way forward òun ni pé kí a negotiate ara wa pẹ̀lú present government kólúkálukú máa lọ nínú if not ó máa padà dìjà Yorùbá nation is the final solution. Kò dẹ̀ ń ṣe pé ń tàn ṣe pé orí òfin àgbáyé no kò sí nǹkan tó jọ bẹ́ẹ̀. And this is the reason why ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé ẹ má contradict ọ̀rọ̀ tiwa pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ politics kọ́ là ń ṣe tá bá gba Yorùbá country tiwa à ń ṣe politics but now kò ń ṣe politics à ń ṣe politics. Ṣe politics. Àfọlọ́mọ yẹn nísìn everybody ló ní nǹkan tó wá ṣe olúkálùkù ló wá ṣe nǹkan níbí báyìí. Mo ti gbádànù kò ní rírà ìmọ̀lọ́dọ̀ tí wàá má wọrí ọ̀lànìpẹ̀kun one bastard ní bàbá yẹn. So politics kọ́ là ń ṣe ní tá à ń ṣe ni pé a fẹ́ right to self determination kò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú politics kò ń ṣe politics là ń ṣe. Ẹ̀yin púpọ̀ lẹ́yìn assume pé politics là ń ṣe politics ò ń ṣe movement tó bá fẹ́ ṣe politics lọ join APC lọ join PDP kó lọ ṣe politics àwọn ò ṣe politics kódà o lè lọ join ní Ṣòwòrẹ́ gan sẹ́ AAC Ṣòwòrẹ́ politics ló ń ṣe àwọn ò ṣe politics kọ́ là ń ṣe so n tá à ń ṣe kò ní kọ́kọ́ ṣe pẹ̀lú politics. Àwọn ilé nísìn àwọn Catholic Agency for Overseas Development àwọn ilé nísìn tó bá wá nísìn wá lọ abúlé mi wàá máa sọ fún àwọn èèyàn pé ẹgbà mọ̀mọ́ tó ń ṣe. What's it about? The Great Green Week.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we
wow.
ask people to submit prayers.
To submit prayers.
Yeah.
Okay.
To the Prime Minister.
Oh, you didn't ask me. I would have loved to
You
stop.
do.
I would have loved to. Maybe next
Have a
time.
look at online at our, and we're always asking people to submit prayers.
Okay, so let me show my people. Let me show them. So they are submitting a prayer to Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and this is called the Great Big Green Week. And the Lord, it is from you that we have received the gift. There are so many Christians being killed in Nigeria.
Yes.
I am a journalist.
Yes.
Thousands, millions, and the government is not doing anything. It's a very bad one. So we need a lot of prayer, especially when they want to Islamize the country. We are not going to tolerate that. There are so many Christians that have been killed. In Kaduna State, the governor said there will never be a Christian governor. How can we live side by side? It is not possible. So kudos to what you're doing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So, so iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n yẹn àwọn wá submit a prayer to Prime Minister. So, ẹ jẹ́ kí n show yẹn àwọn lélẹ̀ àwọn nìyẹn. So, mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo yín. So, a máa parí ètò yẹn bíbá very soon, but we still have some more activities I want to do as usual. So we're going to do more activities before we go. But for now, I say thank you so much to everyone that have joined us so far on the live transmission. My name is Akitoye. I'm going to end all the broadcast, but I'll be coming back later for more program as well. We're on the right track. We would never stop, but we will do what it takes to get our own nation. Have a very good afternoon, and bye for now.